Alright. This is Season 2, Race 8, my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. We're at the Baku Street Circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Going from one of my worst tracks in Monaco to one of my best in Baku. So, very excited. Got a fresh power unit in the car. And our team is now, as you can get a better look at the chart, the second best team on the grid in terms of performance. Very surprised that Red Bull and Ferrari have basically made no upgrades, whereas Mercedes has been, I guess, at the looks of it, making a couple of minor upgrades here and there, but they've definitely pulled away from Red Bull and Ferrari in the running order. Now, even Racing Point's right on Ferrari's doorstep right now, so I think it's now sort of starting to reflect real life a little bit, because Ferrari, they haven't, won a race this year or in the season so far, and they're definitely not performing. If you look at the championship standings, you got Vettel in 5th, well behind, and then you got Leclerc in 7th, also pretty far behind. So, yeah, we're pretty. There's that. We do have 1,600 resource points, so we are going to get an upgrade. We do have one coming in on the Aero side, so actually what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get this minor chassis upgrade, which will come in time for the French Grand Prix. And then maybe we'll have enough resource points after this race to potentially get a major engine upgrade? I don't know, we'll see. Not like we need it, we are the best engine, but there we go. Actually, you know what, we are lacking in durability, so why don't I, instead of doing that, why don't I get another durability upgrade? We'll do that. A little bit of change of plan, but I think it's worth it. Durability is always a good thing to invest in. So R&D, we got stuff coming in. So there you go. Now we're all pretty much set. Let's go qualifying. Now, the one difference from this season to last season is that qualifying for Baku last year is in the wet, whereas this one's in the dry. So, should be interesting to see how we perform now that it's, all dry the whole weekend. Back, I sort of hesitated going into that first turn. There we go, that's much better. See, Hamilton's right behind us. Ghost car. through that complex. We are well ahead of Lewis Hamilton. And actually, you should take this out of mention. I'm very curious to see where Kevin Magnussen ends up, because he, our car is the second best on the grid. Magnussen has an 89 overall coming into this race. So, we'll see where he ends up. But as far as us, we going to get our first ever pole.
Fantastic.
In my team career mode. First pole for the team. First pole for me. So we'll see where the lineup is.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three. The owner driver, Hamilton, and Sergio Perez. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So there you go, there's qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Great job by the Racing Point cars, getting 3rd and 5th. Really showing off the speed that they have. Of course, Sergio Perez got a podium at Baku in 2018. Stroll in 2017. Leclerc, good start for him, considering he's somebody who needs more points. Looking, Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen have to be disappointed. P10 and P12, not a good run for them, and a little disappointing to see my teammate outside of the top 10. But at the same time, him being in 11th means that he will have the first choice, the first car in the lineup that will have a free choice of tire. So maybe it'll work out for him. We'll see. Now, I have seen some other career modes on YouTube from Baku races where it ends up sort of like Spain, where you have a bunch of guys doing up front doing 2 stops, where people in the back of the pack or the second half of the field go for 1 stops. So I'm sort of curious, because obviously last time with the rain, I don't remember what. I think we might have gone on the medium tires, or maybe even started on the hards and gone to the softer tire. I don't remember specifically, but
I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Very curious to see the strategy, though. That's the bottom line. But yeah, we are all set to go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today, so our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully away from the barriers. With 20 turns and a length of 3.7 miles, Baku City Circuit in the heart of the Azerbaijan capital is a real test of a driver's endurance, patience and precision. 90-degree corners through Sector 1 lead into a tightening uphill sprint as we start to circle around the old city. Then a 1.4-mile chase flat out through Sector 3 towards the finish line. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams? Or trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's the owner-driver in pole position then, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Perez, Leclerc, Lance Stroll and Bottas, Ricciardo, Albon, Kvyat and Sebastian Vettel, Magnussen, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Norris, Ocon, Sainz, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nick de Vries, Grosjean, Latifi, Calderon and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright, let's take a look here and see what the strategy looks like. Alright, so it is calling for a one-stop for us, basically going from softs to hards for the rest of the race. So, I guess we'll see. We'll see if we can make that work, and I guess as well, we'll see how far we can stretch out the softs potentially. Maybe try to go for a soft to medium strategy.
We're not seeing any technical issues coming off the practice start. Watch the RPM on the full start. You don't want to bog down.
Might try a soft to medium if the softs don't wear that much, but we'll see. As far as the tire compounds, everyone is on softs. So actually, not true. The Haas and the Williams are both on mediums, but I suspect, that's just basically the two slowest teams trying something different. So, I recall that I think a bunch of teams went with different tire choices last year just because of the free choice of tire, because of the rain and qualifying. But looks like this one, everyone's going pretty standard with soft tires right at the start. I'm going to be very intrigued to see how those racing points do. Again, they're pretty lofty positions, third and fifth. Great qualifying effort from both guys. One of them could be in for a podium, maybe even both of them, who knows, if they get lucky. Temperature's looking all good.
The drivers we're fighting here are Hamilton and Perez. Dries seem like the best tyre for now. No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions looking good.
So really nothing to worry about. No weather concerns. See if we'll get a safety car like we did last time. should be fun race. Starting up front again, first pole for the team. We'll see how hard we'll be fighting the guys behind us. I feel like either it's going to be a tough fight, or we'll break the 1 second barrier and scoot off into the distance. It's all going to come down to the start, as it always does.
Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid has formed. Be ready with the clutch.
Alright. Ready to go here. First to start from pole position. Can we win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix for the second year in a row? 5 red lights. And away we go. Great start off the line, and a good start for Perez. He's going to jump into P2, and Hamilton might fall to P4 as Leclerc is on his inside. Oh, Leclerc and Hamilton bumping a little bit. Hamilton get the spot? I think he might have kept it. I think he had the better exit out of that corner. Yeah, I think he got the better exit. And the Mercedes defensive cover. Look at Ricardo. Look at Bottas. He started P6 and he's fallen way back. He's gotten, let's see, press second, then third, fourth, 5, 6, 7. He got beat off by Kvyat. So Bottas has dropped 2 spots to the Renault of Ricardo, as well as the AlphaTauri of Kvyat. So terrible start for Bottas. And our teammate is still sitting at P11, so even if he doesn't get points, I'll be happy if he just doesn't go down the field. So there you go. Let's see if we can get away from Perez here.
We're looking good so far.
Hit the wall there, that's not good. That can be a tricky corner as far as the braking is concerned. You always want to be careful. A little wide, but that works. Didn't hit the wall at least, that second time. We're just maintaining the 1 second gap. Of course, the DRS isn't activated until lap 3. See if we can extend this gap to Perez. Feels like the end of the first sector, or the back half of the first sector, and pretty much all of the second sector, that's where we really gain on the car behind us. So we were about 1.3 seconds ahead of Perez at the end of the first lap. Now we're basically gained a second on Perez, essentially. Close to it, anyway. Meanwhile, Perez is out of the DRS range of Lewis Hamilton, so he will not be, for the moment at least, he will not be under attack from Hamilton. And neither will Hamilton, because he is pulled out to about a second ahead of Leclerc, or more than a second, so... At this point, the top three have pretty much secured,
DRS is being
myself
enabled this
included.
lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car
We
ahead,
have
and in the
pretty
DRS
much
zone.
secured our positions in the top three, just based on how far ahead we are of the next car behind us. It's really those sharp corners, and there's basically this the slower part of the course is where we really gain that time over Perez.
To teammate behind is 12.0 seconds.
So the first battle for position is really fourth place, as Lance Stroll has now gotten by Leclerc. As we pop it up into standard, I think we're far enough ahead that we can start to save a little bit of fuel. Try running in lean mix for part of the lap to see if that we lose time to Perez or not. So I think this part of the course we're far ahead enough to the point where I think we can like run this part in lean mix, get away with it, and not lose that much time to the car behind.
No need to worry about tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good. Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the hards.
5 laps in, tire wear, not terrible. I'm sort of curious to see when those other guys decide to pit. I'm going to run into is that when I pit, I will absolutely be running into traffic. pit predictor actually has it coming out in 16th, so yeah, that's going to be right towards the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton has... Something must have happened with Hamilton. He's really lost time to Perez. Perez is almost over 2 seconds ahead of him. And now Lance Stroll is within striking range of Hamilton for third place. Like, he's within the DRS zone, and he might get it for third here. Yeah, Stroll's definitely going to get Hamilton for P3.
We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap.
Let's go back and take a look at that overtake by Stroll. Yep, just pretty much just waltzes by the Mercedes. Yeah, I don't know what it is. The Racing Points, they're showing some real speed this race. Qualified well in Stroll. Just overtook Lewis Hamilton for third place on just pure pace alone. Of course, he had DRS, but he just flew by him on the straightaway. Rarely do you see in real life, or even in the game, somebody just blow by Lewis Hamilton like that. So whatever the Racing Point guys did this weekend, they did it right, because they are the... Looks like, you know, again, I thought we were going to be contending with the Mercedes this weekend, but not the case. We are contending with the Racing Points. And could we possibly see a double podium for Racing Point? That would be something. Check. The right side tires are the ones that are wearing the most right now. I think the timing will work out that our stop will be for hards, because I think by the time we come in, those right sides are going to be in the 60s in terms of wear.
In this lap, push now.
And so not only has Stroll overtaken Hamilton, but now Stroll's even out of the DRS range of Lewis Hamilton. Actually, at this point, I'm going to pause for a save. I'm actually going to get myself set up here because the Xfinity Series races. The Xfinity Series race, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, is starting as I record this in a couple minutes, so just going to have that set up here on my phone. Just got it set up on the NBC Sports app on my phone, so I don't miss the start of the race. think this is actually the last weekend that NASCAR is sort of plugging in races to fill out the schedule. I think with the truck series they had to add a bunch of races because a lot of the standalone truck dates got canceled. But yeah, I think from after this weekend's over at Dover, didn't attempt that to Ryan, but after this weekend is over, as I record this, because this will probably be going up on YouTube after the fact, I think the NASCAR schedule going for the rest of the year is pretty much what it would have been for the most part. For most, well, mainly the Cup Series. Xfinity trucks have a couple changes, but yeah, for the Cup guys, it's pretty much normal schedule after this weekend. Again, as I record this. Tire wear, as I predicted, you're in 60s. We could go one more lap, but I think the time is right for us to come into the pits.
Understood, stopping this lap. Copy that. Hearts for next box.
I could go an extra lap in theory, but I don't think there's a need to do that. And the pit predictor has coming out in 11th, which is, I believe, is that right around where our teammate is? Is he still in 11th place? No, our teammate has actually moved up into P8. So that's good to see. Nice to see him moving up the field a little bit. He could get some points today.
Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Here we go, into the pits. Perez follows us in.
Exit now.
Actually, let's see what tires Perez goes on. Very interesting. Sergio Perez and Racing Point have decided to go for another set of soft tires. That is very interesting. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton has pitted, and he is doing a one-stop like me onto a set of hards. Let's see if we can see around. Ricardo, I believe that's Ricardo that came in. Looks like Renault is going onto hards. I think I can see the white wall tires there for him.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Ooh, close to Gasly! Slight contact there, but we make it through okay. And we should be able to overtake Gasly. We should have the position here going into the corner. Yes, we will. We're by Gasly and into P5. Now let's take a look. So we went onto hards, obviously. Sergio Perez is the only one who's done that strategy, so I'm wondering if Lance Stroll does the same thing. So I guess Perez is going to pit again for mediums, but then I feel like he's in a tough spot because he's stuck behind all that traffic, whereas, you know, I don't know. I feel like if you know where you're going to come out with regards to the rest of the traffic, it might have been a better decision. I feel like that strategy of going on to another set of softs and trying for a two-stop is only going to work if you're in clean air, and he's not right now. And now, I would think most of those people will come in on this lap, and he'll then get into clean air. But still, this is like, I'm not sure if this is the best move for Perez. He might have just cost himself second place, if I'm being honest. His race is now against Lewis Hamilton. He's the guy now that he's got to pull away from, so that when he pits, he can sort of to reduce the damage as much as possible in terms of losing ground to the Mercedes. I don't know, I view that as a questionable strategy call, as my teammate ahead of me dives into the pits.
Kevin is in for his stop.
Norris stays out an extra lap, as does Giovinazzi, as does Grosjean. Let's see who does what here in the pit lane. Okay, so they made the smart decision with Lance Stroll. Stroll is going onto the hard, so they basically split strategies for the racing points. I think Stroll might be in a good for a good shot at a podium here. Our teammate goes onto the hards. Good call. Bottas also on hards, along with Leclerc, and they're going to come out right behind Lewis Hamilton, who's stuck behind one of the Williams cars of Latifi. Who else came in? Looks like Gasly came in for hards. Verstappen came in for hards, as did Sainz and Ocon. So, yeah, Perez, the only one who appears to be trying for a two-stop in this race. And again, I get maybe wanting to split strategies, but at the same time, you have a guy in Sergio Perez who's known for one of his...
extra fuel target +1. Our gap behind is 5.5 seconds.
One of Perez's big trademarks throughout most of his F1 career, and certainly most of his F1 career with Force India / Racing Point, is that he was known for he's very good at saving tires. So if you had a guy like Perez, who's probably one of the best guys in the field in terms of saving tires, why would you put him on a two-stop strategy? I'm sort of, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I'm sort of confused as to why Racing Point decided to do that, especially when they put his teammate on what I view as the correct strategy. Now, I would expect Perez to close the gap to us, but a little bit, but he has to pit at the end of the day, so I don't know about this one. I really don't know about that strategy call. I don't think it's going to work out for Perez, but hey, we'll see. The deal with Perez is that now that he's a clean air, he essentially has to build as much of a gap as he can to the cars behind him, so that when he pits, he won't lose as much time. He's definitely going to lose. He's definitely going to lose spots. He's not going to get to a point where he's a full pit stop ahead of Stroll or Lewis Hamilton. So his game here is just going to be to gain as much time as possible on Stroll and Hamilton, so that when he pits, he won't lose as much time to them. And I guess the advantage will be that Perez will be on when he goes onto his mediums, he will be on the fresher tires in the field. He should have fresh mediums, while everyone else has worn hards. So, yeah, very, I view it as a questionable strategy play on Perez's part, and his Racing Point part. But, who knows? At least for him right now, he is about 8 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton, so he is gaining that time that he needs to gain. And again, we are not worried at all about him catching us because of the fact that he has to pit again. The other Alfa Romeo has finally come in, so I think the only cars who haven't made their first stops are pretty much everyone who stopped or who started the race on the mediums. So Latifi, basically the two Williams and the two Haas cars are the only ones who have not stopped in this race yet. But again, you wouldn't expect them to. They're on medium tires. They're doing a different strategy. I do wonder if those guys do try to stretch it out to where they can maybe put on softs at the very end. Because if they're trying to go on, if you're going from mediums to hards, there's no point in the strategy. They gain nothing. So I'm wondering if they strap on the softs at the end, try to stretch it so they put on the softs, and just try to push to the end of the race, maybe gain some spots. Right now, we are just cruising. We are... with Perez doing a two-stop, our real battle is with Stroll. So... he's one we have to watch out for, and we are well ahead of Stroll. We are 11 seconds, almost 12 seconds ahead of Stroll right now, so... and we're just going to be on cruise control the rest of this race, pretty much. Just hitting our marks and making sure we don't make any mistakes and hoping we don't get a safety car. Now, if we do get a safety car, the timing is going to be very interesting. If we get a situation where you do get a safety car, I definitely think, because of our gap, the cars behind us, I'm going to for sure make a pit stop. But it will all, what tire we decide to go on will all depend on when the safety car comes out. Ideally, if the safety car comes out, I'd like for it to come out later. Then I can go on a second set of soft tires, and then just be a rocket ship at the end of the race, just flying by everyone else who has, you know, worn hard tires on the car. About to get going. Austin Cindric has won 5 out of the last 6 races. He's going for potentially 6 out of the last 7, which will be a new record for the Xfinity Series. And I'm sure by the time you're listening to this, it'll be old news, but Haas cars. The Haas cars going from mediums to mediums to hard. So Again, not sure what the point of the strategy was, that they were just going to go on to hards after starting on mediums. If you had the free choice of tire and you were there back that far, my call might have been to go on hards and then switch on softs at the very end.
We're leading our teammate by 21.2 seconds.
Okay, so we're ahead of Magnussen by 22 seconds, which is basically a full pit stop. Perez is about 5 seconds, about 6 seconds behind us, so he is about 16 seconds ahead of Magnussen. So when Perez makes his second stop, he's going to be probably somewhere where around Sebastian Vettel is, I would say. And Vettel is running in ninth. So Perez will be just, I think when he pits, he'll still be just inside the top 10. But he'll be really pushing to try to gain back the spots. I really think that Perez's strategy was the wrong call. He must be. He'll probably be fuming after this race, knowing that hey, he had pretty much a lock for a podium, and Racing Point gave him a bum strategy that just basically necessitates the only way it would work is if he gets a safety car and be able to hit under the safety car. But at this point, it has not been a safety car yet, so. And there goes Perez. He's into the pits. We'll see where he comes out. Yep, he goes onto a set of medium tires. And I actually might have underestimated where he would come out. He's going to come out just ahead of Daniel Ricciardo on the mini-map. So actually a little bit further ahead than I would have expected. Maybe about by a position, but... Yep, so he's going to come out, that's in P... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's out in P7. So... I think he might have a shot to get to the podium. He might have a shot to get to Hamilton, but it's going to be... I mean, he does have the time, so maybe we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the strategy will work out for Perez. Again, everyone in the field in this top group is on tires that are now, on the hardest tire compound.
We've got a lot of spare energy.
And we've been on these tires for about 7 or 8 laps, probably 8, closer to 8. He's on fresh mediums. So he has all the ability. Now we'll see how far he can get. basically getting close to maxing out down the front stretch. We're maxing out as much as we can without having DRS. Looks like Perez might be able to claim his first victim here very shortly, as he's right up the gearbox of my teammate. He's actually doing a very good job. That he did a great job in that first stint, and now he's running in P6. I'm sure he'll be falling to P7 here in a second, but still a very good run for Magnussen. Save right here at the end of the straight.
And we see the 22 of Austin Civic mentioned that there was going to be
Oh, we got somebody with a problem. One of the McLarens, Sainz, out of the race. He was running towards the back of the field, out of the points. And there he pulls it up to the side right at the end of the second sector, and he is out of the race. First retirement of the day. Perez, I don't think he's got by my teammate yet. So Perez, on those medium tires, doesn't appear to have been able to make any ground up. Still stuck behind some of those cars in front of him, like my teammate, as well as Leclerc, Ferrari. I think why Perez hasn't gotten by my teammate is basically the fact that my teammate is also right behind
Gap to
Leclerc.
teammate behind is 25.2 seconds.
He also has the effect of DRS. And ooh, did my teammate just make a move for 5th place? Let's take a look. Here comes K-Mag in the Jaguar. He's a move to the outside of Leclerc. They're side by side in a turn 1. And my teammate's going to get the position. Because he does have the better line going into turn 2, so he should be able to hold that spot. Kevin Magnussen, good job to get into P5. Again, he has an overall 89 coming into this race, and I was really hoping he'll be able to finally show off his potential as far as pace goes, and he's starting to show it now. Up to P5, and meanwhile, Leclerc has also gotten past. He has also got past Leclerc on the outside of turn 3. Leclerc just dropped 2 spots in the span of a couple corners.
We love our new home. There's so much space.
And honestly, I do not expect my teammate to hold on to 5th just because Perez has the better tires. And now we are basically a full pit stop ahead of the competition. Now we are getting into that range where if we wanted to, we could throw on a fresh set of soft tires and go for the fastest lap of the race. But I'm not going to do that right now. One, because the gap's kind of close with Stroll. And second, we already had the fastest lap, so no need to go for something that we already have. So, if we somehow lost the fastest lap, then I would consider coming in, get the extra point. But, again, we already have the fastest lap right now, so no need to come in. Yeah, basically, we are at the end of the second sector, going onto the main straight, and Stroll is just getting through the castle section. And now that Perez has sort of gotten clear of Magnussen and Leclerc, I'm curious to see now, is he able to catch Mercedes ahead of him? He's about 3 seconds, more like 2.5 seconds behind Bottas. And he's got time, he's got 6 laps. 6 to 7 laps to potentially catch him, so.
Think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now?
Meanwhile, well, Perez is trying to run down the Mercedes. Valtteri Bottas is caught up to the rear, to the gearbox of his teammate, Lewis Hamilton. So the Mercedes boys could be going at it for that final spot on the podium here in just a minute. And that battling could allow Perez to sneak up on them and potentially pass them for position. So, should be interesting to follow. Yeah, Bottas is definitely going to get DRS on Hamilton here, and he's going to blow by him down the straightaway.
Leading our teammate by 29.3 seconds.
And now Perez is just about 2 seconds behind Hamilton, so I don't think Perez can get back up to second, but he could get up to third. He has the time, and he has slightly better tires. Plus, let's not forget that those racing points were obviously very, very fast in qualifying. Yeah, Perez is really gaining on Hamilton right now, so he can be within DRS range on this lap. And I do have to commend Bottas because let's not forget, he started 6th and dropped to 8th on the initial start. So even in a Mercedes, for him to fight his way back up to 3rd is a pretty solid run for the
There's 5
Mercedes
laps of fuel
driver.
remaining.
And Perez is definitely in DRS range of Hamilton. He's going to get there. I don't think he's going to pass him, but he's pretty much on the verge of passing Hamilton at this point. He's already there. Clip the wall there.
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
And I think Perez blows by Lewis Hamilton to take 4th place. could be getting an interesting battle for second here in a little bit because, at least for a moment there, it looked as though Bottas was closing the gap a little bit to Lance Stroll. We'll do one more quick save. Really tightened up a little bit for those second through fifth guys, the four Mercedes-powered cars. Give a bit of a moment there, coming out through that kink in straight. Now for Perez, the chase is on for that podium. He's more than a second ahead of Hamilton. And we'll see if he can make it a double podium for Racing Point, or if Bottas can maintain P3 for Mercedes. Perez is about
There's
second
3 laps
and a
of fuel
half.
remaining. Gap to teammate behind is 30.5 seconds.
Second and a half behind Bottas. Just to give you an idea of how far ahead we are, we're crossing the line now, while Stroll and those guys behind us are just getting out of what's effectively the final corner. And you can count those kinks as corners, I guess, but the real final corner on this route to the main straight. And Perez, I don't think he's within DRS range of Bottas just yet, but he's pretty much there. It's about just a second behind him, and he's got 2 laps, so if Perez getting there is possible. He's close enough. See if he can get into P3. Meanwhile, props to my teammate. He has both Ricardo and Leclerc right behind him, but he's managing to just hold on to P6. So good on him for this will be his 3rd consecutive points to finish.
Fuel is looking really good. You're managing it well.
So it's nice to see the teammate. Nice that I have a teammate that's finally able to hold their weight in the team somewhat.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
It's going to be a very tight race for the podium here. Bottas, he's going to have to fight off hard to defend from Perez. He's about a second. I'm not sure Bottas might have DRS on Stroll. We have started the final lap of the race. And Bottas actually pulled ahead. I think at this point, I think Perez is going to fall just short of getting on that podium. So, like I thought, he did not need to go on that two-stop strategy. He was in a position to get a podium, and basically the team just thrown it away for him. Not seeing where he would come out in traffic, not realizing where he'd be. And they botched it. They botched a potential podium for Perez here. Which is a shame, really. He qualified third, had a great start on the line, got by Hamilton for second. He's going to have no podium to show for it. And at this rate, it doesn't look like it. He is over a second back on Bottas, and he's not going to have the power to get by him. Meanwhile, Bottas is actually close to a Stroll. So we could see a repeat of what happened in 2017, where if you remember Bottas, when Stroll was in Williams, he kept him at the line for P2. Stroll still got on the podium, but he was 3 instead of 2. So it looks like here we could see the same scenario play itself out once again with Stroll and Bottas, but that doesn't matter at all because we are going to come to the line. We've been taking our time. We have all the right to. We're so far ahead, and we're going to get our third win of the season.
Congratulations.
An easy victory. An incredibly easy victory for us in our Jaguar. Our Jaguar Renault.
So
A
after
full
day of
pit
mixed
stop ahead
fortunes
of
up
second
and down
place.
the field, we bring today's race to a close. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of
Like I
their
said,
tyres at all
Baku,
times.
my best track. Can't explain it, it just is, and we get another victory. Actually undefeated in Baku in F1 2020. We'll see who got the podiums here in a second.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved
And it
victory
looks like
and a brilliant performance from them all.
Stroll was able to hold on to P2. So not a reversal of fortunes for him. He maintains, I guess, sort of gets redemption from 2017 and beats Bottas for P2. So good for him. Best result of his career. Big result for him in the points, too.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Our championship leader has been deposed, and we have a new name at the top of the standings. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
Well, Lance Stroll would be my pick. He managed to keep a cool head today whilst pushing through the field.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from the owner-drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Just where he was last week, he's evolved so quickly and has become so comfortable in his craft. And we know he's talented. He's good everywhere he goes. We know him at the competition now. He's just excellent everywhere. It's, like I said, he has overcome some obstacles. And he believes in himself. We heard from the opening stanza. He believes he's looking forward to going down to turn one and
Alright, so there it is. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Another victory for us. Now, while Stroll was able to maintain P2, my teammate Kevin Magnussen, unfortunately, was not able to maintain P6. He fell, I guess in the last lap there, I must have missed it. He fell to P8, which, again, it's still, he gets points, so there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. Still gets points, but he could have gotten a better result, considering where he was with just a few laps to go, but still a decent result, I suppose. Ricardo, decent points for him. And Gasly, nice job for Gasly, getting 1 point after starting 13th, getting up to 10th. But oh man, the Red Bulls, absolute calamity for the Red Bulls. Verstappen started 12th, finished 12th, basically couldn't go anywhere the entire race. And Alexander Albon started 8th and finished 17th. My gosh, not a good day for the Red Bull team. So we check the standings. We have retaken the championship lead, and it remains close. Bottas actually... So it's weird. Bottas jumped Hamilton, but I guess what happened is that Hamilton was in first, Bottas was in second, and we were in third. So me and Lewis basically switched spots while Bottas stayed where he was. So it's weird. So he jumped his teammate in the standings, while also at the same time not losing a spot in P2. Anyway, at this point, it looks like the championship is really just going to be coming down to myself, the two Mercedes, and Max Verstappen, who despite that getting no points there, is still only 28 points out, still within striking distance, I'd say. Only a race victory behind me, and all it takes is one result behind us, or in front of us, and he'll be right back in it. Man, can we talk about Lance Stroll, though, for a second? 5th place for Lance Stroll in this season so far. 8 races in. That's incredible. He's doing a phenomenal job in that Racing Point car. It has to be said. Has almost... Not quite double, but he's got 20 more points than his teammate. He's ahead of both Ferraris and a Red Bull. He's doing absolute wonders in that car. Really is. Now part of it's been to the strategy, but he's been able to save that tire life. And man, he's been doing an awesome job in that car. Has to be said. And then in the constructors standings, look, I'm not expecting us to win the constructors this year. I think Season 3 is going to be the year where we really make that push. Once we hopefully get a sort of a driver that's another step up from Magnussen. But we're doing a pretty good job in P2, has to be said. So, there you go. That was all the happenings from the streets of Baku. Superb weekend all around. I got the triple pole, fastest lap, the race win. Doesn't get much better than that in terms of an F1 weekend.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Was there really any competition for you today?
Oh, compliment the power unit, because it is, of course, the best in the field. That is true.
First in the championship. How does that feel?
Well, so I'll stay humble.
You performed better than last weekend. What changed?
We did have an upgrade in the aerodynamics that came in, so I'll compliment the aero department.
It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? Appreciate your time.
finishes. Great effort from the team. All around, we're at a really good spot, and we're going to gain a lot in the rivalry over Botas. Still going to be, actually, we've drawn level. We are tied at 10, with 5 races left. Just starting to just gain more claim. $898,000 from the sponsorship bonuses. Only $20,000 worth of damages, but that's okay. We still have a good amount of money. $9.16 million. Now, I might consider making another facility upgrade at some point, but only once I'm within the safe range for re-signing Kevin Magnussen. I mean, we are there right now, but I want to continue to build that up. I think I still have some $5 million level upgrades to facilities I can make, but again, I don't think I'd make those until
this week's income from the sponsors has cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
I don't think I'm gonna do that until I get to 15 million, or what was I gonna say? Until I oh, never mind. Anyway, let's go with the podium celebration party to get all the department morales up, and then driver promotion filming, just to fill that out. R&D, we don't have any points really to spend. The other aero upgrade did come in, so we are now the 4th best team in aero. Chassis upgrade still looking to come in. So our next upgrade for sure is going to be a power unit upgrade. Probably one of these two. So we haven't gone down that road on the tree yet. There you go. Anything else I'm missing? We're not doing anything with Magnussen's rating this week, so we'll see if that goes down any, potentially. Actually, you know what I might do? I might go in and purchase another driver perk. Actually, we can't do that until we get to level 15, so can't quite do that. Well, you know what? We might as well get the social media team up. You can spend money there, so why not? Yeah, so like I still have a couple areas where I could purchase for the durability and the powertrain and the aerodynamics, but I want to wait until I re-sign Magnussen to either we re-sign Magnussen or up to $15 million. That's sort of my threshold right now, because Magnussen's contract is about $7.05 million. So that's the goal that we're shooting for. And the RD, you got the aero parts. The only thing that's coming in is the chassis, which is set to come in along with the durability around the 17th and the 18th. So I think that will be in time for the French Grand Prix. Alright, there you go. That was the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We will see how we do in Canada. Again, another one of our better circuits. So yeah, should be interesting to see how we do in that regard. So, next race is Canada, and we will see you for the next one.